Welcome, welcome to another episode of Diversity podcast, which is called Diversity is the Game Changer. And today we are joined by an extraordinary guest whose entrepreneurial journey has inspired countless leaders and innovators around the world. And I decided to title my episode The Art of Diversity, Leadership, and Growth built by Building Empires. So please welcome our honorable guest, ASIM KHALIQ, a founder, entrepreneur, and content creator who has built and scaled a great number of businesses, generating over 800 million in revenue for himself and his clients. With a wealth of experience across diverse industries, Asim's insight into leadership, workplace culture, and organizational growth are unique and incredibly inspiring. Welcome to our show. Thank you so much for staying with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And then I would like to hop backwards because now everybody, of course, trying to look into the future, which is quite unpredictable because everything is evolving so rapidly. But I would like, first of all, to jump backwards because I believe everything actually what is happening in our adult life, it's very connected to our childhood. So I would like to talk about this little boy, little Asim, his childhood, his dreams, aspirations. What was this little boy? And could you please tell us how the mindset of this little boy shaped your achievements today? Great achievements. I already just listed a couple of them. Could you please tell us? Thank you.
Yeah, so I was the second child. We have four brothers and one sister. And when I see myself from now, uh, I was a little sensitive about things, what's going around. I was very creative in terms of, making stories in my mind. I
Okay.
still make stories in my mind. I still talk to myself. Mostly when I'm alone, I'm not alone. So I always talk to myself. And I always take, my present into future. So I always see myself as a future self, like what exactly I'm doing in the future.
Mhm.
Uh, but I love history as well. So I connect dots, that from where we are coming, what we are now, and how we're going to shape the world in the future. And it is quite fascinating when I see myself that I always have this storytelling kind of person in myself when
Mhm.
I was child, not necessarily in the public, but to myself. And
Mhm.
I think that was the main point. When I grew up, I started thinking about having businesses or building businesses and innovation,
Mhm.
because when I was talking to myself, I was talking about new ideas and how people are going to interact with other things. So this is how I gotta summarize my childhood. I was very sensitive, but a storyteller to myself.
Wow. You made it's so incredible because you already there became so imaginative, right?
Yeah.
And you uh kind of knew yeah, because kids, it's very actually healthy because kids, we have no boundaries, right? And then for us it's much easier not having barriers. We really can fantasy, and it's much easier if afterwards we can have support by our environment, family, that actually all these fantasies at some point becoming actually our reality, right?
Yeah.
And so that's why actually probably has happened in your life. It
Yeah.
was the root in your childhood, and then you've got, of course, you need to have determination and work and schooling and everything. But by knowing and visioning what you would like to do, somebody say it's already like over 50%, almost 90, when you really want know where is your North Star, right?
Yeah.
Where you should move. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. It was very interesting. And then now I know that, okay, it started from your childhood and you have succeeded, and you led so many teams across so many countries and cultures, right? And you've hired yourself thousands of employees. And could you then share with us what are your key strategies for approaching diversity and inclusion, and for when you're building the teams that they can grow and innovate? Because you already mentioned about innovation. So because our podcast diversity is
Yeah.
very interesting for me, your approach to diversity aspect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let me give you a little perspective. When I was young, like when I started my businesses, I was always a solopreneur, and maybe a couple of friends.
Mm-hmm.
There is no diversity, like between us, because we were probably from same university, same institution. But what happened as I started growing, I need team members. We need people. And one thing I learned very early in my career, that I cannot do everything.
Yeah.
And that is the vulnerability I have. And it's a good thing to have, that you need to have the understanding that you don't know everything and you cannot build everything. So you need people. Now, when you need people, you need to ask a question, that what kind of people you need. You need a clone of yourself, or you need something which is different from you.
Mm-hmm.
And the answer is that no, you cannot have another clone of yourself, because then you are just duplicating another person. And that is, I learned accidentally, or I was lucky somehow, that very early in the career I was consulting to some companies how to hire people, because I was very early in
Okay.
the tech game. And at that time, people don't know how to hire techies. So I'm talking about 90, 98, 99. And and at that
Mm-hmm.
time IT was very new, and people don't know anything. So I was always telling people that do not try to hire someone which matches your own personality, your
Mm-hmm.
own biases, or another yourself. You do need to hire someone who can come up with diverse personality, different mindset, and different set of skills. And that is, I think, the core foundation I build on, that my role is to hire people.
Mm-hmm.
It's not to run businesses. People are going to run businesses for you. You have to be a visionary,
Mm-hmm.
and you need to be a leader who is is kind of a resource provider and a mentor and a coach and a decision
Mm-hmm.
maker, instead of trying to do everything yourself, and try to engage in every activity around the organization. And I think that is the thing. And even today, I do not have this boss kind of mindset. I always have that kind of mindset, that I gonna hire people. I gonna let people do their own thing, and when they are doing something wrong, I just gonna intervene and I gonna correct them. But my role is to guide them, to navigate them through the complexities of their work, instead of just uh, try to control everything. And that is, I think, becomes the initial point of having diverse mindset, diverse people. And fortunately, I work with many people around the globe, because as an entrepreneur, I cannot hire everyone full time. So I was looking for people, freelancers, consultants, and these kind of people around the world, like whoever fits in the job description. I don't care about from which culture they are coming, you know because in my opinion, when people come from different culture, they are more creative, because every culture has a different way of looking at different things. So, for example, if I'm hiring someone from Colombia and someone from Ukraine or Switzerland, same problem, they're gonna come up with a different solution because they see problem differently. Now,
Exactly.
the good thing is, if you bring, these 4 or 5 people in the team and give them a task, then they're going to bring more creativity because now they are going to adapt with the other people's solution as well. So it's kind of, validating and invalidating your own biases, all the time, and challenging yourself uh, through this, interaction between the people, that how, I'm saying, I think I should do this, and I'm very firm about it, but then, my team member is saying, what about this? And you are thinking, wow, yes, he's right as well. So what happened is people get more adaptive in diverse team, and the result and the product is an amazing product, which is a collective wisdom of different people from different educational background, cultural background, religious background, because these things matter. You know, and then that's how someone can become successful.
Thank you so much. It's brilliant insights because I've been studying diversity now so many years. It's the subject of my second master, now it's PhD, and yes, it's amazing. And definitely, I would like to have some gems from every podcast interview. And now I know immediately, without actually interrupting, and using my focus to note during you were talking, because I really want to concentrate with all my for awareness on what you are saying. But some things that are so strong, though, that's for sure. Today I will be putting in my notebook that collective wisdom. It's so brilliantly underlined. It's true, like you also mentioned. Thank you so much. It's so true that it's avoiding this blind thinking when everybody just clone of yourself and just double and triple your biases and everything. You should really challenge yourself. It's true, it's not that easy, because many people, they believe, oh, okay, I'm Ukrainian like me, of course, especially if I live abroad. So maybe if I hire, or if I find the person with Ukrainian mentality, it's easier because you kind of already know. But first of all, every country has subcultures, right? We're all different anyway. We all different contexts. But again, if you really want to create something innovative, like you say, in creative, you have to have this collective, colorful rainbow of wisdom, right? Because
Yeah,
otherwise, there is no future for your organization tomorrow, because
yeah,
your blind thinking is just the way to blind spot, right?
yeah, yeah,
So yes, exactly. But it's true. It should be really made with purpose, by very wise leading, like you said, not probably bossy, not boss,
yeah,
but leader, because all people from different culture, they are so sensitive. And actually, in one culture, probably to get boss, which is all the time give you orders, it's completely normal. People are used to that. But in other culture, like I've been living now in Scandinavia so many years, then if you really would like to give order and really 100% command the person from Scandinavia, then it's a problem,
yeah,
because they're used to be independent, like you say, right? So I like very much your approach, that you really understand that no, we can't do anything ourselves, and we have no, and we shouldn't do, because everybody has their special in talents, right? You
yeah,
cannot be talented in everything.
yeah.
Thank you so much. It was so collective wisdom. It will be in my wisdom notebook. Thank you. I like it very much. Yes. So we already touched about cultural diversity, right? Uh, and now we have touched a lot of positive things
Yeah.
about diversity. But we also know building businesses, and especially big businesses, and cross cultural, and where all type of diversity are included, it's not that easy, right? So
Mhm.
and you've done so uh, amazing achievements. But what do you believe you have faced during your career, like biggest challenges, and how you actually I'm sure managed to overcome them to achieve a success? Could you please tell, like, major, like, I mean, two, three
Yeah.
mm,
Yeah.
biggest
So
challenges? Yeah.
yeah, so it's a good question because you know you need to have a balance
Mm-hmm,
in your approach as a leader when you're hiring people, uh, because you're hiring human first of all, and what sometimes what people do, they hire very fast,
mm-hmm,
and then they fire very fast as well, and which is very unethical in my opinion, because if you're hiring someone and if that person is leaving a job and then you're firing that person very fast, you know this is not a justice to that person.
mm-hmm,
So first of all, you need to hire very strategically first of all. And the second issue I see in my 25 plus years of experience is many hiring managers, they are not trained on how to hire people,
mm-hmm,
especially if you are a team leader or a manager or VP. They think their designation or their position makes them uh, to hire someone.
mm-hmm,
It doesn't work that way. Like, think about it. If you want to get hired, if you're an employee, you do all the things. You create your resume, you do research, and you prepare for interviews, and and you do some trainings as well, consultation and coaches and everything.
mm-hmm.
But how many times these hiring managers are getting trained on how to hire people? I'm not talking about the HR. I'm talking about the technical head. Meaning, for example, if you're a software engineer, do you have the skills to hire other people? What kind of questions you're going to ask? And that is one of the biggest issue in most of the hiring managers. They are not trained to hire people right.
Mm-hmm.
And as a leader, you need to accept that challenge, that the most difficult thing in your job is to build teams, and build teams of A players or experts.
Mm-hmm.
Because what happen is, when you bring good people in your team, good people in terms of they have excellent skills and expertise of the job description they're going to do, it's difficult because everyone is a hero within himself or herself.
Prima donna, we call
you
them
know
here.
it's so difficult.
Yeah.
So think about it. Like, you're building a soccer football team and you have 8 or 9 star players. It's so difficult for a coach to manage those players because they can do wonders. But this is the job you need to accept as a manager, that you need to learn how to hire right people. And before hiring the right people, what is the right steps you need to take to learn how to hire right people, then hire the right people and build the team of A players, and let them innovate.
Mm-hmm.
The second challenge comes when when you build the team, is you try to manage people. And that is that that's why the managers, the designation managers, is so outdated now, in my opinion. You don't
Mm-hmm.
need to manage. You need to hire the team of A players who can self manage themselves. You don't need to be a person who is constantly asking for updates and project this, project that. No, they
Mm-hmm.
are mature, they are adults, they know what they are doing. Let them innovate, let them come up with their own thing, and your job is to just provide them the resource. And when they need your help, you need to be there. So in my opinion, this is the challenge, everywhere you're going to see. And that's one of the biggest challenge I faced as well.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of the most common challenge that people, who's supposed to hire or lead, they don't know how to lead and hire. Number one. Number two, they try to manage. You
Mm-hmm.
know, they try to manage everything. You don't need to manage everything. You need to empower teams so they can be a self-managed team on auto, and you are there to provide them the resources, mentor them, and make difficult decisions. If they cannot make the decisions, then you need to intervene and say, okay, I'm gonna take the responsibility, I'm gonna make the decision. That's okay. And I think this is the one of the biggest challenge.
Mm-hmm. Then it's very interesting for me to reflect about what you've said, because I'm agree with you that it's everything about team and how you create the team and recruiting strategies. And but after the recruiting, if everybody, like you said, they're solo players or prima donna, we call them here, especially in academia, and everybody comes and they believe I'm number one, right? And uh, so you still believe, not believe, but you are given advice that it's still, even if it's prima donnas from different domain, that they will figure out by themselves.
Yeah.
First you should give them, but should you give them some time and look at their results, or when actually you should probably start, I don't know, coaching or something, because when they are all are players, so yes, it can be very challenging between them, or you should just give them this freedom.
Yeah. But the good example would be, a military, elite corps in any country.
Mm-hmm,
Now, when they are operational, there is no such, person who is just managing them.
mm-hmm,
As an individual, they are very skillful, but they need to work as a team.
mm-hmm,
And they are self-managed team, because when they are in operations, there is no a person who's telling them what to do, what not to do, because they cannot just take the instruction, all the time. But they gel in so good that they work in a very cohesive manner and self-managed.
mm-hmm,
They are self-managed, and then that's why they are successful. If you see, US Marine Corps and these kind of things, they are self-managed teams. Individually, probably they are not like top, you know but as a team, they are one of the best teams when they do in the operation, because they are self-managed. They believe in themselves and they believe in the other people as well, and they know how they're going to work together. you know and this is how, the team should be working. It's all about team. The failure and the success, it's not the individual. But what happened is, the managers, they have the favorites, and they try to, manage things. You don't need to. Let them manage themselves, because they are the one who is going to innovate and build something for you. Your job is to build, give them space, give them time, give them resources,
mm-hmm,
and mentor them, talk to them, and let them do, the wonders. You don't need to intervene all the time, and that is one of the biggest challenge, when you build a team of diverse people, from different backgrounds. They're
mm-hmm,
always going to have conflict, but if they believe in themselves, they're going to build a team.
mm-hmm. Yeah, and if we try to project this approach to uh, diversity, not ethnical and cultural background, but if we are talking about gender diversity,
Yeah.
what are your opinion in this way? Because it's a lot of debate now, at least in Europe and Norway, because Norway was the pioneering country to make the law about quotation, right?
Mhm.
About how many percent of women should have been in the public companies, females at the board. Now um, the law, it's also, it should be middle-sized and small companies.
Mhm.
And it was a lot of debate, like you said, it was not then self-managed and self marketing choice, but it was special compliance, right? So what's your opinion about this quotation and about gender diversity?
Yeah, I'm all for gender diversity. Actually, I was working on one client, and they hired 3 or 4 people
Mm-hmm.
and marketing team, and all were male. And they sent me, some resume, and I picked, all the women's resume.
Mm-hmm.
And you know the CEO called me and said, why you're picking, all the women's? I said, you already have, three people before. Now you're hired, two, three other people. You're going to have five, six people. You need women as well. I said, why this is important? I said, first of all the male, they're gonna behave good. First of all, in front of, male, women, because somehow, men respect women, in teams. Number one. Number two, I
Mm-hmm.
said, women have different type of, mindset, and different type of skills, and
Mm-hmm.
you need diversity. You cannot just bring, all male here. You need to have diversity. You need to have gender diversity. You need to have culture diversity. You need to have mindset diversity. You need to be adaptive. If you're building, big teams, like team of 10 people, you need to have people who thinks different, not only just because they are from one culture or the other culture, but also, emotionally they are different as well. I think, the best thing you can do is bring, a couple of women in your team, and you're going to see, how people going to first of all behave. The second, is, uh, uh, women is sometimes, is very caring, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and they put, the care into this equation. Men try to be very logical, all the time, mathematical.
Yeah.
Uh,
Mm.
and the women gonna come. I do not have any bias as the women. Like, women are also, very logical and stuff, but again, you have another layer of care as well. And she gonna say, okay, what about this? And then, people gonna think, yeah, yeah, that's also very good. That's why, if you see in customer care, you talk to, women. You go to hospital, you talk to women as a nurse. They have a different kind of energy. you know
Mm-hmm.
they do not always try to solve problem through their logics. you know they
Technical.
somehow humanize the solution, or at least the understanding of the solution in a more human way. So I believe in gender diversity. My first project ever, uh, I started, although I did not launch it, was for the women.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I grew in a joint family, and I have four aunts in one
Oh,
house. So
okay.
I grew up, in my father was the, only son. So all of her his siblings were sister. So I have this inclination that, you need to bring women. Like, you need to have diversity. Even, it's not just numbers, like how many women you need. I do not believe in these things. What I believe is, you need, so that, put it this way, it's more conceptual, but an organization should be the reflection of the society. That is my,
Yeah.
overall concept of building teams. If your
Mm-hmm.
organization is not representation of the society you are, providing the services or the product, you're gonna fail. Because why you're gonna fail is, if you're not bringing, the same people in same proportion, this
Mm-hmm.
means, you're going to have an unproportional solution as well. So, for example, you are working on a product where men and women, and all the ages going to use that product. You need to build the team, because now they're going to think about the solution like their clients or the customers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
I always believe in this, that the organization should be the representation of the society. If your organization is not representing the society, you're going to build a solution, but you're going to just build a solution for the one segment of the society, not everyone. So you need to have, because this is the, small state or country you're building, organization. Like, and then you need to have the diversity of, gender diversity, age, mindset, education, all these kind of things.
Yes, amazing. I agree 100% because how you can create the product which can really mirror and meet the requirements of all your customs. If you don't know about requirements from
Yeah,
these customers, right? So that's why it should be this part of the river and here like the bank, it should be mirrored, like we
yeah,
know what you want how we know here, because we have the same person like this and this and this, not the same, but I mean like
yeah,
representation that we are all different. Yes, it's so for me it's like okay, maybe because I've been studying this subject so many years, for me it's like now no brainer, it's so obvious, but still some companies and quite big and quite wise companies, they still have this recruitment strategies when they really like fill in more and more the same people with the same quality because they believe it's safer. So yes,
yeah.
I know
It's
what.
not safer because the thing is, they cannot see beyond themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, I was working with one of the clients in the past, and the manager I was working with hiring people, he was very data oriented, and he was only looking for the people with good data analytics skills. And I said,
Mm-hmm.
why you're trying to just build the team of one type of people? You need
Mm-hmm.
to you need to bring someone who is more analytical, maybe someone who is more creative, someone who is more innovative, someone who is more maybe social. Like, why you're trying to just taking yourself as an ideal self
Mm-hmm.
and try to copy
Mm-hmm.
paste. I said it doesn't work that way. This means everyone is going to work on the data, but where are the other things you know so I said, you need to bring people, you know which has diverse kind of skill set. Now you can say, I need people with 30% of data skills, but you cannot just try to bring all the people in the team with one background, and which is yourself actually. And what happened is, sometimes people think what they know and what the skills they have is one of the best,
Yes,
you
yes,
know
yes. Mm-hmm.
and I need to bring more people who can validate that I'm the best. you know like, why you are hiring yourself? But just some people, they have the ego, that that
Oh,
yeah,
if it was
that I
just
gonna hire
South
someone. Yeah,
Asim, we had less problem. I think it's many people who's big ego, bigger than they actually
yeah,
reflect about. That's why we have so many conflicts now, I believe. But okay, we are not talking about political escalation because I'm from Ukraine and from Kherson. Then it is my pain. So, but we're not touching that. But you, thank you for your reflection. I could not be more agree because it's so easy sometimes we have all the answers in nature and look at our nature why it is healthy system and why it's when mismatched because we have biodiversity,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Think if nature has everything just the same, how
yeah,
actually it should function, how it should survive, how we could survive.
yeah,
No, so we already and we know how much problem we are facing when it's mismatching biodiversity,
yeah,
right? Because it's just healthy functioning when it's diverse. So come on, people, look, it's already done, it's already created
yeah,
from a great creator. So we just sometimes need to open and look around.
yeah,
Questions already there, right?
yeah,
No question, questions, but answers as
yeah,
well.
yeah,
And very nice actually that we already so deeply in all type of diversity because actually my podcast also are very focused on the new emergent type of diversity, which is actually even has no really like uh, researchable very like stable definition yet, but we are raising this question more and more in subject, and it's called
Divergent.
neurodiversity.
Mhm.
Yes, and because me, I'm displaying neurodiversity myself, and I hope I have obsessive compulsive disorder, and it's also spectrum. And we people with all this type of diversity, it's actually also uh, quite wide spectrum how we are displaying it. But because it's not like trendy and buzzword I could hear, but because this is so passionate subject for me, and I know there are so many people like me outside who still probably believe they're alone, they don't have belonging, they're not good enough. Then yes, I've been through all this problem and this very very harsh self criticize. I'm not gonna, I'm losing this society, because we have also society where very very culture focus on your like prestation every day, right? You should
Yeah,
have achieved and everything almost should be like 100% success.
yeah,
But with my special type of brain, I can't do that. Sometimes I can maybe can be more creative because of that, but other days I can actually be totally not useless. I believe I was useless, but I'm just processing information different and the whole world, and so many people out there like me, but we always was kind of taboo, stigmatization, we are awkward, we're, it's like it's better like this, like you
yeah,
said, when you
yeah,
don't know how much this person different from you, it's a little it's better like, okay, this is not my case.
yeah,
I'm trying to raise awareness. I said, look at me, I'm not just disabled, I'm not just broken. Yes, I have challenges. Yes, I'm differently wired in brain.
yeah.
And what is your opinion? Because now actually I had no idea it's 35% just identified persons now in the world who are neurodiverse, and it's huge, right?
Yeah.
Number.
Yeah.
And then if we don't do something with that now, we are actually also in lack of this biodiversity of us. What is your opinion about?
So yeah, so funny thing is, I have two sons. They are on a spectrum. They are on autism spectrum. One is on the very severe side of the spectrum,
Mhm.
and one is on the mild side but high anxiety disorder.
Mm,
So I'm involved in this community, autism community. We call it neurodivergent. So I'm involved. It's been now almost, I would say, around 14, 15 years now, because my son, he's going to be 19 this year, so he diagnosed when he was 4 years old.
mhm,
I
mhm,
didn't know anything about autism and these kind of thing, and I was you know I was a very good student, and I thought, I can solve many problems through logics.
mhm,
I was building team. I had a business. The business was growing and everything, and all of a sudden, I have my first child. I started seeing problem, and I started doing the research.
mhm,
The good thing about him, he changed my perspective about not just the business, about the world,
mhm,
that how you see the world, because uh, he's severely autistic.
mhm,
His mind is like 2 to 3 years old. Still, he's 19, but every day he colors a rainbow.
mhm,
The good thing happened is, I found very early that he likes colors and painting and these kind of things.
mhm,
The problem was, no one wants to teach these kind of students,
mhm,
because they have challenges, attention span, tantrums, and running around, high energy, all those kind of things. But I was working with many artists, many teachers in the town, hiring different people, and then we explored that he has amazing skills of art.
mhm,
Now, I'm bringing my son into this equation to make my story, right, statement in a better way. And what happened, once we started providing him all the resources, time, guidance, coaching, and everything, in just 3 to 4 years he become an artist.
Yeah.
Now he won almost all the prizes you can imagine, in the city. Now he's not competing with people with
Oh.
autism. He's competing with the artist who has 60 years of experience or 50 years of experience, right? And you know uh, but he was on TV, reporting as well, report as well. They did, radio. Actually, I was participating on his behalf. He cannot talk. He's he has a speech, but he cannot, communicate. But he won almost all the, things. I have, paintings, like hundreds of paintings, and they are all amazing piece of art. Like even his teacher, she said, I cannot produce this thing because this is creative thing. Now my point is, is when we see someone as autistic and we see this person is not going to be any productive for the society or for the organization, for, in any situation, this is a bias we have, that we think as a human, this is our arrogance, that
Mm-hmm.
this is a perfect picture of a human.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have this much IQ, you need to have this much speech, you need to have this much communication and behavior. You are checking the box because you created some sort of a persona of a right human, or a normal human, whatever you want to call it, right?
Idea.
Right, ideal person.
Mm-hmm.
And you are just validating. What
Mm-hmm.
you are doing is you are ignoring the other side of the coin. That no, the ideal you have created, this is own based on own bias, and you are trying to validate your bias. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can prove that, my child, my son, he's 19. His attention span is 5 seconds. He cannot sit on a table 5 seconds. But give him, canvas, paints, and brush. He can sit for 5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in 5 hours, with this attention that he doesn't care about, what is going around him, right? 5 hours of concentrated attention. I can challenge anyone. A superhuman cannot have five hours of, attention.
Mm-hmm.
Impossible. Because you're always going to think about, okay, I need to sleep, I need to
Yeah.
do this, I need to do this. He doesn't care about anything. 5 hours straight of this concentration, and then he gonna produce. Now he has artistic skills, someone gonna have logical mathematical skills, someone
Mm-hmm.
gonna have some social skills, someone gonna have some other skills, like singing or drama or whatever. Now think about it, an ideal person, so called, we created, versus that person. Like he's 19. When he was 15, he won probably all the awards. When this ideal person is going to grade 10s and is struggling with the mathematics and the science questions. So think about it, if he progress at the rate he's progressing, in next 15 years, no one can
Mm-hmm.
match his skills and expertise and creativity, right? Because he
Yes.
doesn't care about what is going around. In my opinion, or probably his opinion, he's probably thinking, why the hell these people are worried about, 100 things, you know?
Yes.
They should be
Exactly.
worried about what is important. So our problem is, when we eat, we think about work. When we
Everything.
work,
Focus
we think
everywhere.
about eating. You know, when we
Mind.
are listening to music, we're thinking about someone else. And when we're talking to someone else, we're thinking about music. We have distracted mind.
Mm-hmm.
We are so much, have flaws, but we think we are the ideals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Although, when I deal with this, you know when I see experience, these so-called, people with autistic or autism, I do not call them autistic. This is a tagging, someone. They are on the spectrum. I see, they have amazing talents. What we are missing in the businesses and the society, we do not appreciate, diversity in terms of thinking,
Mm-hmm.
in terms of different personality, in terms of the skills. you bring those people in the organization, and you're gonna see wonders. I met a person, her nephew was autistic, on
Mhm.
a spectrum, and severe autism spectrum. And she said, but he has amazing skills, but he likes architecture.
Mhm.
you know he become architect from one of the best universities, University of Michigan. And he said, he cannot present his ideas, he cannot
Mhm.
present anything, because he has communication challenges and stuff. But
Mhm.
each time when he create a design, that everyone in the organization is like, what the hell is this? It's
Oh.
humanly impossible that we can even think about this creative design. And for me, let's suppose if I'm a manager or a leader in organization, and I want someone who just have one set of amazing skills, I think this is win-win for me. Like, why should I care about other things? And this is missing in many organizations. They're
It's
trying to
like.
check all the boxes. Why?
Mhm.
You're gonna have some problem. Give space, you know little bit of space, 10-15% space, to bring people from different challenges, but
Mhm.
with the skills which you can utilize, and produce something which you cannot do otherwise. So I think, like, I need, like, diversity is not new to me. Every day we have challenges. It's not ideal world I'm living in. We have challenges as well, but I see things from the positive mindset. You cannot just think about negative. My other son, he has amazing memories. like
Mhm.
like we don't need anything to record. Like, he knows 6 years ago what we did on this day. you know so he has amazing memory. He's a GPS for us. Like, when we travel somewhere, after like 4 or 5 years, he can tell us, go right or left. Like, he has amazing skills, memory wise. Every person has some skills, and this is our duty to explore those skills, those talent in them, and then try to utilize it. And this is how the world gonna be a better place, instead of just validating ourselves all the time with our own biases. It's
Mhm.
not gonna work. In my opinion, in IT, actually is very good. Many people in IT is ADHD, and that's why they are so amazing with the innovations and the creativity, because they always think
Yeah.
about things, right?
Elon Musk, Bill Gates.
Yeah. So see here, if they are not ADHD, probably, or do not have signs of autism, probably they're just gonna work for some corporate,
Mm.
but they cannot rest. Their mind cannot rest. Their mind is all time working. And
Mhm.
now we are here using their products, right?
Exactly. Oh my God, I'm so deeply touched. First of all, for your honestly sharing your story. Thank you ever so much from the bottom of my heart, because for me it is so personal subject as well, because now I also in this neurodiversity, okay, up and down research, and the special type of life also kind of 15 years. It's when I was diagnosed first, and it was also at that age I have adopted two kids, and I knew they had special needs, because this was my dream and goal: come to special orphanage in Ukraine and adopt kids with special needs. So exactly what you are saying now, we have with Michelle, like you said, because she's also on spectrum, and it's two distinct. She's drawing
Mhm.
also, and she is our GPS.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, really. So when you were talking now, it's like, oh my God, he's just describing my life story, like, and it's so touchable, because I also do believe, I met in Soviet, and it was checkbox. You have to be that. You must to be. You must. And if something fails, you are not good enough. You're
Yeah.
like, yeah, it was black and white, right? And for me also was like, I had two master, now PhD and everything, and I've got the diagnosis, and I believed, okay, this is really true. What really actually consider whether person lucky in this life or not, happy
Yeah,
or not, it is how actually society really have to be. We should be really like equal and totally the same, like ideal, like you me, what is normal, what is
yeah,
ideal, it's
yeah,
typical now, right? So for me, I understood very, very early, completely different, like you said, every single person is resource,
yeah,
unique resource, and
yeah,
when you really can understand that and adjust and to do everything to support and put this person in this supportive environment, right,
yeah,
and can make the soil to flourish and grow this
mhm,
talent. So this person, even on spectrum, can be happy, can be luckily enjoy life, and also be so useful, and even probably doesn't know, but you said also maybe not productive, but I believe still even very productive for society, but because they can make solutions, so many solutions that we or normal processive brain cannot, because
yeah,
like you mentioned, it's true, our mind always jumping in the past or worrying about future. We're never
yeah,
here, we're never mindful, we're never present. But like
yeah,
your son and my Michelle also, she was never like, we called her, before she was diagnosed, she was like 37 30 seconds child, we called her. She could never sit,
yeah,
never, but we were just laughing. But okay, we believe she was just very like, you know running everywhere. But when we got to understand that it was spectrum, she also has ADHD and everything. But it's true, when she got the colors, canvas, then also she was in her space. That's
yeah,
it,
yeah,
right? And first time I remember, she got the task in the kindergarten to draw a house, right? And nobody understood why she like jumped and then just jumped away to the outside, right? It was cold, it was snow. She was walking around the kindergarten several times, and yes, and then many hours she was in her like bubble, and then she came. How was 5 years old? Yes, 4.5 year, with drawing of the kindergarten in the perspective of 3D,
yeah,
right? So everybody was like, what? So I mean, really, look at me, look at you. We are so much proof that, oh my god, we have to be different, but
yeah,
we should really encourage society to widen our lens. It's not like it must be that way or that way. Again, nature, again, biodiversity, right? It's
yeah,
not to be good or bad, better or worse. It's to be unique, and we
yeah,
really need
exactly.
to
Yeah,
raise awareness, to speak a lot, to use more platforms like you and me now, right? That no, it's not taboo, it's not stigmatization, it's not about it's not about being good enough, not good enough,
yeah,
right? Because can you imagine your son? I'm sure that by his drawings, he's much more productive than just
yeah,
people probably who, because can you imagine how many artists there and people he can inspire,
yeah.
huh?
And think about it, think about differently. When you listen to a music,
Yeah.
do you care about how good this singer is in mathematics and science and geography and social studies, right?
No,
Uh, do you
at
think
all.
Taylor Swift worried about how to do bookkeeping? No, she can
And yet,
hire 10 people who can do accounting. So why we try to build people who have all the all the logical skills if they do not, or otherwise, you know
mhm, yeah,
so there would be some people, they're going to
mhm,
learn whatever the schools are training them, but there would be some people, they're not going to go into the mainstream.
no, no,
I have a conflict with my with the teachers when he was young, and I said, he doesn't care about anything but the arts. Why you are wasting your resources and time? He said, but we have this system and he needs to work with the system. I said, this means your system is not good. You need
yeah,
to think about because what you're gonna do, you're gonna kill the talent, because you're going to get some people, they are not going to be good in writing or mathematics or science, but they are going to be good in probably something else. Or there
Mm-hmm.
would be some people, they are not going to be good in arts but mathematics, but you're what you're doing is you're forcing them to do certain things because someone hundreds of years ago thought about schooling system and all these curriculum. We
Mm-hmm.
need to update it. I said, if I'll see all the geniuses in the past, they do not have their school diplomas. So do
No.
you think they are lesser than us? And you are based your whole society on their research and philosophy. you know you build the whole system on their philosophy. They do not have your school degrees and diplomas and stuff like that, right? I think you need to celebrate and appreciate the talent people have, and our job is to explore what they have, and provide the resources, provide the support. That's all. I don't care about a soccer player, how good he communicates, or how good he do all the mathematical or computer computational stuff and stuff like heavy
Mm-hmm.
duty stuff. I don't care, as long as he is good in the fields. That's how I enjoy, and that's how we need to see human, that we are all player, you know in our own capacity,
Mm-hmm.
and let us provide them the support they need. We don't need like my son, he was saying, but if I'm not going to college, how people gonna feel about me? I said, don't care, don't care. you know
Mm-hmm.
College doesn't mean anything. It's not the standard of your skills or whatever, your talent is just a degree. Actually, I call it, the college diploma is just the receipt of that you paid them in full.
Mm-hmm.
you know you know because if college are producing so amazing people, I'm not saying they are not producing, but they are not producing all the time. They are taking thousands of students, but only few people are great. So this means they need to review the system.
Mm-hmm.
So if they are taking so many people, they need to focus on their primary talent and the skills. So then you can bring best of from them, instead of trying to just force people. It's a herd kind of mentality, like everyone should be in this herd and we guys gonna control it. And
Yes.
so I think we are on the same page, and I hope people can understand from this conversation and the other challenges in the life that not everyone is equal, and we need to celebrate diversity. We need to uh, appreciate the talent people born with, uh, and
Gifted with,
yeah,
yes.
yeah, and then utilize it for this world, because probably because of our unsupportive world,
Mm-hmm.
we are killing all these talents and these amazing people. And in my opinion, everyone has something to offer.
Absolutely, and I'm so inspired by our conversation and you again. And yes, system. It's not. We should really change these talents. It's because system, right? We know all logical people. We know system was created to be able uh, to manage us, to get us under power, just to make easy to control us.
Yeah,
That's why we got papers, ID numbers, and all that stuff. But it doesn't help at all to um, evolve, develop our talents. No, it
yeah,
takes all this and cut. We should be like this. Then we are manageable mass,
yeah,
right? To manage us, we know what stays behind that. That's it.
yeah,
So okay, but it's again political situation. But I'm so happy that we were really had deep discussion about this part of diversity, which is so important for me, and hope really we can inspire many people by our conversation, but by our real stories, your story, my
yeah.
own, and my kids and your kids. And my question: what is the name of your talent? This magical talent, son.
So
what is his name?
his name is Umar,
Umar?
Omer, Umar Asim. Yeah.
Yeah. But now where you sit and you don't have any drawings that I can look at. You
Uh,
don't.
I have drawings. I can send you some
Yes,
pictures.
could you please? Because I think I will be more than happy to watch his drawings, and if it's allowed, I don't. I can I post also drawings.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, okay,
yeah.
and I can because one of my you see there. I don't know. I can okay. Just one sec. Right before we were talking, like I can show you. I don't know. Michelle, we have a dog. Her name is Chanel, and she's dog. So I've got this one when she was small. You see.
Yeah.
It's with aquarelle.
Yeah, yes, this is great to see the colors and
Yeah,
everything, and this
yeah,
is
right.
this is talent.
Aquarelle is difficult.
Yeah,
I can't make paint and it was she was little.
yeah,
So please, I would like to ask you before our wrapping actually game, little bit game. So could you please be so kind, send me some drawings of Omar, and I would like to post. I would like to. Is it allowed to use his name that he
yeah,
was
yeah,
making them?
yeah. But
Oh,
his
okay,
drawings are
perfect.
different. Like his drawings are not. Uh,
Abstract.
he
The abstract.
it's not abstract, but it's like he only draws, mostly human faces, and but in his
Wow.
own way. Meaning, uh, if I'll give him your picture, and when he gonna draw it, it is going to be total different thing. You're not gonna recognize this is you. He just gonna deform, you with lots of colors and shapes and insight, and it's gonna become an art. And you're gonna see what is this. But this is how he creates thing.
Oh my God.
That
Could we
from
do
one,
that? Could we
yeah,
give him my picture if he has spare time and just one time inspiration? But
yeah.
it's
So
not like he has
it
to.
it, it, it
I
not
want
gonna
him.
be your picture anymore.
What did
He
you say?
not It is not going to be your picture anymore, because you cannot recognize from that picture that that's your picture.
No,
He's
no, but I would
totally
like
gonna reshape it.
his vision. For me, it's I would like to feel his transformative vision, exactly how he see that.
Yeah,
That because I don't need one more portrait of me,
yeah,
right? We have digital now. I have thousands of, but for me, it will be most important that it was his. He created me in his road.
yeah.
You understand?
Now,
So
now,
wow.
so what he does, like we see light, shadow,
Yeah.
darkness. He doesn't see this. Like he only sees, different colors. So let's suppose if he gonna see your face, he gonna see, okay, you have light color, dark color, like so he gonna draw, different shapes within your face. Like your shape does not have, one color because of the lights and the shadow and those things. So everything your shape is become 15 part something. And then he gonna color, because his expertise is color. His expertise is not creativity. His
Mm-hmm.
expertise is how he uses color and how he see color.
Can you imagine? For me, it will be big, big honor privilege. Then I can print, and because I'm making also frames myself, I have a workshop, and then I could have it in my. Yes, okay, we can discuss, but it's a dream to come true. This is my because now I'm going to play a little bit with
Are
you.
you
And what
recording or
is
you
this?
stop recording?
You no, I'm still recording.
Okay, okay,
I'm still. It's just 3 minutes over 1 hour, but
okay,
it's not problem.
okay.
Uh, what do you think? This is we already wrapping up. It's the last question, but it's kind of a game. What do you believe this is?
This is from the Alibaba, right? The lamp.
Aladdin, yes.
Yeah, Aladdin. Yeah,
It's a
Aladdin.
genie in the lamp, yes. And
Yeah.
because I would like always to a little bit lifting up in the end of the conversation, because usually conversation very profound and deep, which I'm very grateful, like ours today. So, but I would like before we say thank you to each other and our audience that if I'm your genie in the lamp today, but I sorry, not three wishes. It's a tricky one. If
Mhm.
you could make just one, because I already made for today to have the very beautiful drawing of Omar one day, but if you should make the wish and I can whisper it here inside, what would be your wish today?
My wish today is, just enjoy your day. for everyone, you know. Like
Mm-hmm.
my wish would be, for everyone, it always see things in a more positive way. Even, if you have a bad day, just think positive. This would be my wish, that I should see everything today, as a positive thing, and everyone around me see things, in a positive way. Do not bring, negativity in anything, because
Mm-hmm.
today is going to be past as well, and tomorrow we're going to start a new day. That's all.
Exactly, because actually we live not yesterday, not tomorrow. We live today, right?
Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
what you are having now. This is real reality. This is real life. So it's so important to be positive today. Yes. So thank you ever so much, my dear guest Asim. It was wow. It was what a beautiful conversation, and so much deep, insightful gems for me, like collective wisdom and about your son. And I really so touched by your honesty. So really grateful for you. So, and I would like, of course, to thank our audience for staying with us. I hope you enjoyed conversation, and I hope we really could spark a little bit more light for everybody to understand that it's diversity we should celebrate. We should be unique, right? So stay with us, tune with us, and please just remember that in our world, every individual, regardless gender, background, identity, should not just be heard but valued. United, we can create environments when we all can thrive. And our collective potential and wisdom, now I know, of humanity can be fully realized. Thank you so much. And until next time, bye bye. And your last thoughts?
Again, be positive, celebrate diversity, and do not try to validate your biases all the time. Look beyond yourself, and this world is beautiful. Enjoy it.
Thank you so much for being with us.